Welcome back to another edition of the NoStoppingKev Show. I'm your host, Kevin Beeford, aka Lil Kev, aka Speedy, aka Lil Beeford, aka Lil KB. I'm here with my co-host, the illustrious Kevin Beeford, Sr., who never writes it, aka the Philly Flash, aka Big Beeford, aka Big Kev. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm glad to be back today and doing another episode.
Yeah, me too. It's a little cold in here, but
yeah,
my energy high right now. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to warm up now. We're getting started, so let's warm up a little bit.
Before we jump into today's topic, got an important ask. For everybody watching or listening, definitely, as always, your support is greatly appreciated. But if you're on YouTube right now watching this, scroll down just a little bit, click on that red button that says subscribe, and definitely leave us some comments down below and share with a friend. If you are on any of our on-the-go platforms, so I'm talking Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, scroll up or, click out, swipe down a little bit, click follow, and also click that share button, send to a buddy real fast. But yeah, we trying to reach people out there. There's a lot of people that, probably just need to hear some of the things we're going to share at times. And then also, maybe those people will be the ones that actually write in one day and, have questions for us or, want to hear our perspectives on certain things. So definitely just keep sharing this thing. We wanted to reach many, many people. I know we have a pretty good number of older people that watch the show. And they do a good job of sharing it with the youth out there, which is, who we're really trying to reach too. So thank you all for doing that. You got something you want to say?
No, just about reaching, just reaching and just trying to get somebody to tune in, some for us to help, and be helped, and keep us doing that. And like they said, if you got any questions or some things that you want to talk about or have us talk about, just hit them up.
So, today's topic, what are we talking about?
Support.
Yeah, just had to repeat that a few times just because how important it is and, what it can do for you in your life. So, when I think of support, I have this one mantra. Well, I have a million mantras that, I kind of carry with me in my day-to-day. But one that, definitely kind of leans on support is, united we rise, divided we fall. That's something I'm a firm believer in. Just because, when you have people by your side, you're more likely to be successful in whatever you're trying to do.
You good, because, support has really been, my foundation is y'all, my family. And, it's been good to know that I had the support from y'all to help me through all my struggles, all my dark side things. And it really got me through because, I knew if ain't nobody else had me, I knew y'all had me. And I knew I had the support. And then, even then, so other people you can find support anywhere if you go to the right places. And people are always willing to help, So because I like to even say, through my drug addiction, for me, which I've been clean 12 years now, but it's just been, it was like in the beginning, it was I had y'all, but see, I needed some more. I needed some people that would support me, that knew what I was going through and can help me and can guide me through there. In all areas, of life, man. It's just so important.
Yeah, well, you just kind of, flew over that 12-year part. I didn't realize it was that long. I give you another hand clap. Congratulations, man.
Yeah. And it's just good, but it's good. It really good to be not out there like that, And if I can help anybody or somebody need help and you want us to try to share or talk about it, and help someone, hit us up.
I think that's perfect. So if, I think that, if you're a person out there struggling with addiction and you just need someone to talk to, you want to be helped, you feel like that little tug, but you don't know steps you could take, you have someone right here who's been through that. So email us, NoStoppingKev@gmail.com. If you just want to reach out, have someone to talk to, completely anonymous, just want a little feedback. Maybe you got some questions on how to deal with certain things. How do you go about getting help? How do you avoid relapse? And if you're a kid and you just need someone to vent to, someone that understand what it's like to be in your shoes, again, email us at NoStoppingKev@gmail.com. Definitely passion of mine is just kind of giving back and being able to help people through my own experiences. So perfect opportunity to remind people of how they can reach us. When I think of support, I always like thinking about, I think about a lot of things in terms of basketball, right? So it reminds me of, because basketball can be very mental. You can have all the skill in the world, but mentally, if your confidence is a little off or something's not right there, you might not perform your best, right? So I remember kind of being in high school and struggling, but I always had my boy Earl. We've been friends since like the 4th grade. So, by the time we got to high school, we were pretty close. Like, to this day, I consider him a brother because somebody couldn't produce another boy. But, but yeah, he's always kind of had my
I couldn't
back.
support another boy. I just caught that. Yeah, that went over my head a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for you to catch
my head a little bit.
But, he's a guy that when I was struggling on the court, just kind of in my own head, he could always read, tell my body language. If my body language was off, he would see it, and he'd be the guy to come over and be like, "Yo, you got this. You are. Just keep playing your game. Go out there. I believe in you." Because sometimes that's all you need too, is just to know that someone else believes in you when you don't believe in yourself, just to help you get your mind right and realize you can have some belief in yourself. So I think that's it's huge just to have people like that in your corner as well.
It's funny because I was just telling somebody. The other night, we was talking about that, and I was talking about when I first played down McGonigal Hall, man, and, I got the start, man, and I stunk up the place, man, and I don't know why, I don't know what it was, I don't know if it was the nerves or just playing in McGonigal Hall, and, Eddie just came to me after the game and just grabbed me and just told me, "What you doing?" And, it's funny because he always been a person that always been there for me, I got quite a few friends that I can really say and fully support, man, and even support, accountability. They're gonna hold me accountable. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna pull no punches on me. They're gonna tell me just like it is, man. Mm-hmm. And I think all that goes right hand in hand with the support thing, because it's big. It's real big, man.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about stinking it up. I remember one time Earl and I were playing down at DV, down at 18th and Johnston. Yeah. And I think I was having an off shooting day, but I came down. Somehow I got the ball at 3. I shot it. I missed it. Earl got the offensive board. He kicked it out, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. 2 for $1. I'm going to hit this one. Missed it again. Earl got the board again. Kicked it out, right? I'm like, all right, cool. I got to hit this one, right? This third time's a charm. And I shot it again, but each time I was shooting it, I wasn't shooting it like I was gonna make it because I knew, I was in a little slump. I was struggling, so I was putting it up there with some belief, but wasn't shooting it with 100% confidence. I missed it again. I remember Earl got the offensive board again and was like, "All right, man, it's the last time. Hit this." And then I knocked it down, but that just showed me in that moment, he knew what I was capable of. Even though I felt like I couldn't do it in that moment, just knowing that support was there, I was like, all right. And what happened? I knocked the last one down, finally.
Yeah, but the support is so big because, we all can really relate to basketball, basketball first. But, when you having all shooting game, and it's your job, and you the man to shoot. You say Michael Jordan took 40 shots, he might only hit, say he hit 10 today, and you know what? But your teammates it still got his back and telling him, keep shooting.
You're our guy.
Keep on. So, I mean, like, you feel comfortable now when they start talking about you. And I think we were just talking a little bit about that before we came on the air, about how some players, go against you or are jealous of you or something like that. And, the chemistry, the support that you got to give. And, and that's in all areas. Even, like, when you have a bad day on the job, when you go home, like I know the other day when I went to work, man, I had like a terrible day, and like when I went home, and I ain't even tell you this, Brianna, I was like this, and Brianna was saying, Dad, don't worry about it, everybody have a bad day, you'll get them tomorrow. But what was so funny was tomorrow I went back there and I tackled it. And you know what? And I felt good. But that day, I was tore up. And I was really kind of upset. But, like, not even thinking about it. Here go Brianna, man. Here she go, telling me, Dad, don't worry about it. Everybody have a bad day. You gonna get it, Dad. You gonna get it. I ain't really want to hear that, man. I'm still messed up, man. But, I'm just thankful, man. Thankful. And, like, people is always put in place to help you. People is always put in place to give it to you. But you know what? It's our job, too, that we got to make the better choice. And we got to put ourselves... Because I could have went around somebody and they said, man, you ain't got to worry about that job, man. You can get another job, man. You ain't got to worry about that. So that's the wrong kind of stuff that I need. So, like, I need... Like, when we always talk this, we always talk about positive. See, because that go with everything, right? And that's something that I learned, And one of the worstest places I learned that was when I was incarcerated. I learned how being positive in a negative place around a bunch of negative people, how to stay positive and how to do the things positive. And I mean, they even the negative people liked me, and they didn't bother it, So, I mean, it does work.
It's the energy you give off sometimes, too, in those situations that just kind of allow people to either gravitate or repel, Either they're going to come be closer to you or they're just going to keep their distance, and hopefully they don't try to start any trouble. But one thing, kind of talking about having people, like, you could easily have that person around you that say, go ahead, you can get another job, right? That always reminded me of the battle I had, just growing up and kind of getting picked on in school a little bit for being like a nerd or a teacher's pet, for just doing something that, I was supposed to do, to go to school to learn. I'm just trying to learn, be the best student I could be. But I remember, kids, you when they pick on you like that, it gets to a point where it's like, do I want to keep doing well? Like, I want to be a cool kid. I want to be accepted. No one wants to be ostracized or bullied or feel like they got a target on their back, which was very uncomfortable. But you got to ask yourself, like, do I want to keep doing what I believe is right here and best for me? Or do I want to fit in? And when I would try to fit in, it would never really feel right. So I would just stick with school. But I really started I felt the support in high school a lot by guys like Earl and Shaquan, who you know. And I remember kids were trying to say something. I don't know if a teacher made a comment, but, I was feeling, there was a little bit of hate in the air. But I remember Shaquan was like, leave that man alone, he killing it, or something like that. And it was... For me, that helped me out so much because I wasn't in a position where I could say anything, right? Because you say something, now you come off as cocky, arrogant. And for me, it was like what I was doing. You know how you always said, let your game speak for yourself in basketball? Right. Me doing what I was doing and knowing that I had, like, Shaquan had my back there. I didn't have to say anything. He was just like, no, I'm signing off on Kev right there. He doing his thing. He did the right thing, putting in the work to do well. And he let me know it, and that helped me so much because I was just like, why are they attacking me? Like, what did I do? But that's why support is big because you could easily have people that not say anything or, by not taking action, it's almost like you're deterring someone from continuing on their path.
Like I said, we got to choose. Like, what? It might have been a lot of people that wanted to pick or say things about you or tease because they was jealous of you and or didn't want to see you because you were succeeding, but see, the thing is, like, I learned you got to go around the people that's doing the same thing that you do, helping them and they helping you, And then I remember in recovery, recovery taught me one thing, lead by example. Don't it ain't always about telling, and that's what I always say with y'all. That helped me. It helped me. Not to tell you to do some things. I couldn't do some things. When you was young, when you was born, I stopped hustling for years. I stopped hustling because I really didn't want you to come see me in jail. But 20 years later, I do it for a little while, and I wound up going to jail. But the thing was, I didn't show you that part of my life. The life that you did know, me going to jail, me detailing cars or things like that. So I just tried to pull the positive things around you.
You mean I knew you going to work?
Huh?
You said I knew you going to jail.
No, I meant work. I used to take you to work with me when I worked with
you. Yeah, I know. I missed that job.
Yeah, remember your fingers got set in the door?
Yeah, man, that was not. That was not fun. What was it? The car door?
No, it was the bank door. It was down. It was
down, at the hospital, right?
Oh
my god! And I was in there screaming. All right, so backstory: I used to do bank runs with my dad. This was years. I was young.
Yeah, you was young. You were probably about 5 years old. 5 years old.
So I used to do bank runs with him because he worked for a bank here, and we went into this hospital in Philly,
right?
Was in
where was I hospital?
And we were coming out the bathroom, right? Because I feel like it was a heavy bathroom door, and I remember I had my hand, stupid me, I had my hand in between the door where it shuts. And I was like, why is my hand here? Next thing I know, that thing closed.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was painful. And I was in there screaming.
Yeah.
Then I think someone finally bought me some ice, but I'm just glad I don't have any finger deformities today. I'm all right.
Well, see, I got finger deformities.
Take my strong hand.
Through playing basketball, I got some.
Yeah, no, let's keep them hands. We might put some gloves on for people on YouTube. They don't need to see that.
They can't see I'm hiding them right now.
I think that a point you made when we were talking before was that, when you're talking about support, it has to be genuine. It has to come from a place of love.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's that's how it has to be. Because if it's not, then you can really begin to have some issues there. Or just not be the type of support that a person needs.
It's not real. In a one way that I say it, if it ain't real, see, when you do something from the heart, you're not looking for nothing really in return. You doing it to help somebody. Now, if I'm supporting you because I might want you to do something for me, or I want you, then I'm not doing it from my heart, and I'm not really doing it. So therefore, we say fake, phony, whatever you want to call it. That's the whole thing. And a lot of people, when we talk about love or we talk about things like that, and I really guess we'll talk about that in another episode. But one thing, when I was in jail, I came to say I love y'all, and I love y'all to death, and everybody know I love my kids. But how do I love my kids so much if I put their life in danger when I'm out here selling and somebody might want to rob me, or somebody want to what to call, and the thing about it, and I remember this, and I was telling somebody the other day, I remember when you was born, I used to live there, and your mom lived across the street when you first was born, and somebody broke in my house, and only thing I could think was, what if you was in there? What if your mom was in there? But see, you don't think and you don't really know. See, that's why sometimes I say incarceration, and y'all probably hear me say this a lot, incarceration was probably one of the best things that happened to me. And I know it sounds crazy, and I went to jail as an old man, but you know what? I thought I knew a lot of things, but I got to learn something, because they say you can learn something new every day. Mm-hmm. So I'm learning. I'm learning, in the time that the support, it's a different meaning now. I get more out of it. I might have thought I knew what support was. I knew the wrong kind of support. The dude that's going to support me and give me some money and help me go get a pack so I can go out there and get money. But that ain't support. He ain't supporting me. He supporting me to go back to jail.
Yeah, go down the wrong path.
Yeah. So, that's that.
Something I learned recently in launching this podcast is that, sometimes you think you know what it's like to support someone, but until you experience a certain level of it, you might not realize that the support you were offering wasn't strong enough. So, the example I can give is in launching a podcast, trying to make that June 2nd premiere date, right? There was a lot of work that went in leading up to that date. But I remember I probably was about probably the day before, started having computer troubles, couldn't figure out how to format things, didn't know where to post things, like why wasn't it popping up on other platforms through the hosting site. And Devin was actually working on launching her podcast too, and she knew my deadline or my target date was like the next day or so, and so she just put all her stuff on hold. She's like, all right, she set her laptop down, she's like, can I take yours? Like, I'm like, I didn't really want to give it up because I wanted to figure it out, but I had to trust it. And then, she just kind of really helped me out. And then when I launched it, just the posts that she shared, like, they were thoughtful posts, trying to help get the word out. And, she has a YouTube channel. And so before I used to, watch her videos, share them. But I was like, oh, I could have been doing more. Like, I thought I was supporting it the best I could, right? But then after seeing what she did for me, I was like, oh, I can actually, like, I can do that. Like, it's one thing if you can't do something, but it's like, no, I'm capable of doing that. My mind just had never went there. So now I'm able to offer her a greater level of support because now I'm not ignorant to, the strength of support that's needed or that I'm even capable of.
Well, you know what? And I'm going to take it back to love. The love for what she did. Like, you could say that. And, like, sometimes, you know what? We take things for granted, like, a lot of times. Like I said, like, I learned a lot, or I see some things where I could be a little bit better. I'm a little bit better now than I was before because I see things in a different light today. Some things I thought I knew, but I knew it from the darkness. So now I'm seeing it. See, love is light, man. It's just light. And like now, but see, the thing is, you recognize it, and now you appreciate it. Mm-hmm. So now that love right there can flourish. Because now, well, you know what, baby, next time you might put something down to help her. Mm-hmm. And it only strengthens. It only strengthens you. So that's a good thing about it.
Definitely, and something else that I started doing recently. So, there's a lot of people that are out there on their respective grinds. Like, for instance, I have a lot of friends that are into music, right? And I like music, but I'm not into a lot of music. So there's some things that I like, there's some things I don't like, right? But, you always have people, even people you barely know, they'll DM you and say, yo, can you share this? And for years, I used to just kind of ignore those just because I'm like, I don't know if I'm really feeling this. There's just a lot of question marks at times. But now I'm at a point where I know what it feels like to just, scroll through someone's story and it's like, oh, wait, they actually shared my content and it feels good. And, there's times where you feel like maybe giving up and that helps keep you going because it's like, wait, there's people actually out there that would like to hear this. They're trying to push it to more people. And so that really keeps you going. And so now when people, are like, Kev, can you share this? It don't take but much to share something to your story on social media now. They made it super easy. Now, granted, back in the day, it used to be a little bit harder, some extra steps. But now it's like, all right, cool. I'll click on the link. I'll screen it a little bit because I don't want to personally post any craziness on my page for my own personal reasons. But now I'll share it in a minute because let's say, for example, I don't even like it, right? Someone else might. Right. And that person, who knows who they might share it with. Right. They might end up having a connection that can be someone's big break. But if I was selfish and didn't share just because I didn't like it, I'm preventing somebody from growing.
So if y'all don't like our show, share it with somebody that might like our show. Share it with them. Just share it. Just share it. Just tell somebody. Help us out.
If you think it's a 0% chance that nobody else is going, or 0% chance anyone else out there is going to like it, share it anyway.
Somebody gonna like it. Somebody gonna like it.
Let's defy the odds here.
You know what? When we go back to the support, right? I remember when you played T-ball. When you played T-ball. I hate baseball. I mean, like, I don't really mean like I hate it. I don't mean like I hate it. I don't like watching it.
I gotta clean it up.
Yeah, you know, I really like watching. And you used to play T-ball, but I gotta come and show the support to be there when I want to be there for your games. Like Tom, when you played at the Y, I did that. You know, when I moved to Harrisburg, I come back for you and Brianna events. I gotta show up and see. You know what? My reward, like I feel the reward for doing it. I was rewarded because of y'all love and the support that y'all give me. So and I mean, I wasn't doing them games but that's what I supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You know, as a father or something like that, I supposed to be there. When you would play at Penn and stuff, I come and hit the road.
Yeah, you would hit the road and
hit the road right at the
even if I wouldn't play. I remember my freshman year at Penn, when I wasn't playing that much. I remember being like, "Yo, Dad, like, you sure you want to drive down here and back?" And I don't know if I'm gonna see the floor. And you was like, "I'm coming to support you, whether you touch the floor or not."
Right.
I just want to see and that meant a lot.
Right.
And so when I did go out there, I definitely did my best to do my thing, take advantage of whatever time I was getting. And I remember you saying, you might have been the one that put it in my head to be like, "Yo, just go out there and play a game." Like, and I used to tell myself, I'm like, you know what, they're gonna take me out anyway. And I used to tell my boy Tom this too. I'm like, because me and Tom would be in the gym. We would meet up at the gym like 12 o'clock at night. Once we all done studying, we just need some stress relief, want to get some shots up, or even on weekends, or even when a lot of guys are out partying, we would go to the gym. But I remember telling him, like, "Yo, they gonna take you out anyway. Let the thing fly."
Yeah.
In one game, I remember our junior year, Tom got hot. Coach had no idea Tom could shoot like this. I don't know how, but he was shocked when Tom was making them. But I wasn't, because I was with Tom shooting in the gym. But Tom probably hit about 7 threes that game. No exaggeration. Just like every time they swung it to my man, he was knocking it down. But, one thing I also loved about Tom is you talk about support and, just being genuine with it. Tom became like my Earl when I went to college. There were times where I was battling myself mentally just because I was fighting for minutes. And I knew that I was capable of playing more. I think that, just at times the systems that I was in just weren't what I was used to. It was a little bit of an adjustment for me. Definitely a different style of basketball. And I knew if I went to the rec, I knew the guys that were playing ahead of me, we go head to head at the rec. Like, I give them buckets. But I still loved and respected those guys. But Tom be the dude to be like, "Yo, B, keep doing your thing. Like, you good?" And that would always keep me going. And never once did Tom have to say, like, "Yo, I'm going to support you." He just always showed it. And I don't even know if it was a conscious effort. We just had that bond that I always knew Tom had my back. If I was frustrated, I always knew he would walk by me, give me that little, like, "Yo, you going to be all right." And it's always like same thing, vice versa. See Tom, like, "Yo, pick your head up, bro. You good? Like, you got this."
When you talk about a person like that, I got a person that went to Bach with us, and he came his senior year. And, like, I was like a junior, so I knew him ever since I like a junior. And Reggie, James McBride, like, you know what? I got to shout you out, man, because, like, you one of the person. It's other people that I could shout out, but you one of the persons. When I came home, you always call me, tell me if I need anything, I want anything. You call me and send me programs to go to certain events and stuff like that, positive events. You one person that stays there. Like, the other day when I was walking down the street, and I was on my way to go pick my kids up, and I didn't know who this was jumping out of the school police van, man. But I mean, this guy, man, like, I mean, he just touched me. And the thing was, he didn't grow up with us. He's not one of my, like, I met him, like I said, in high school. But, I got plenty of friends that we grew up even before that. Mm-hmm. But this guy, it just love that we had, man, with this guy, and the love that he give, man. And, like, I mean, he really tried to support me. He tried finding me work. He did it a lot, man. Like I say, like, and it's from his heart. And I know he real with it. And that's why I definitely had to shout him out.
Mm-hmm. That just made me think of when you said you had to shout them out. Made me think of when people want you to, like, shout out whatever they're working on, whatever their respective grinds are. It's like, "Yo, show love to this." It's not like, "Yo, support my mixtape." No, it's like, "Nah, show love to my mixtape, bro." Like, download it, share it. So it goes right along with that. But no, that's huge having a guy like that in your corner for sure.
I mean, there's plenty. You know what? You got plenty names you could go on, and we start
definitely.
shouting everybody out. You know,
we'd be here all day.
We'd be here, not talk about nothing else. We just be shouting people out because it is people in our lives that's there.
Yeah, and I'll say, as episodes go on, there definitely be some names dropped. But you talked about, that guy welcoming you when you came home. But I remember, having a support system, and when you went away, like, my support system was broken a little bit. It was definitely a key player was missing that I couldn't always call on. But a lot of people stepped up. Like my mom stepped up big time.
Oh,
Devin stepped up tremendously. I could go to Coach Dev and talk, but I remember one of my toughest days was one of my sweetest days when I graduated from college. And
that wasn't one of my sweetest days. I was grateful for you, but I had to miss that.
It was it was tough, and I had even if you look on the top of my graduation cap. It said it takes a village, because that's something I'm a firm believer on. It's just I can't raise myself, definitely more than one person. But I had a lot of names on the cap, and at the tip was Dad, because you was the person to always say like as long as you do get in school and you push that. But one thing that I think really helped me through that day because it was almost hard. It wasn't almost hard; it was very hard. But I had my family there, my mom, stepdad, nephew, sister, cousins, and Devin's family showed up big time to come to my graduation ceremony. Was super early. Her family flew in, and I didn't think all of them were gonna make it to my ceremony, but they did. So it was like two pockets. So her mom and stepdad were sitting like with my mom, and then her dad's family. There's a whole mob of them. They basically had a whole section in a different part of the stadium, and I remember hearing my name called, and it was just like this. It was like almost like the whole arena was chanting, right? Yeah, if you look at the trailer, you hear. And the dean even said to me like, "Oh, you got a pretty good crowd out there," and I was like, "I guess I do," but I thank them all for being there because it helped fill a void a little bit, just having that support because it was a very tough day for me. It was a big day. I was happy. But again, something was missing, and I gotta apologize to Miss Suzanne because she was like, "You wouldn't look up," and I kind of would always deflect and say like I didn't look up into the crowd where my family was because I was afraid of being nervous or tripping or something. But really, as was, I knew I was gonna look up there and there was gonna be a face missing, which was tough.
Another person I really gotta shout out to is Ramir. Like the whole time, he always kind of kept me informed. He sent me cards.
Uncle Ray?
Yeah, he had people sign the card and send me. I mean, like Eddie, like some people told me how much love I had, man. And like, I never really knew it until I came home. Mm-hmm. And like, I really see it. Like I said, you don't really see some things, and like now, man, like it just was beautiful. And like I said, we doing something beautiful now to try to help out.
I'll tell you too. Like when you were away, so it's hard for me. Like I didn't really open up about different things in my life until kind of now, right? So I would only really talk about what I was going through with you being incarcerated with people like Devin or my mom, right? And so even when they would ask me questions at time, trying to help me, because sometimes talking about it helps. I would kind of shy away or deflect and give short answers. But as I started to take a step back and I was like, they actually care about me, right? So I really appreciated having that conversation. And then, one time I was at dinner with Devin and her mom asked, like, how are things with your dad? And I almost got choked up and, because really it's like, anybody that asked me that, I knew they cared about me, because they knew I was going through a lot. So my mom and Devin, they definitely would always check on me because they knew I couldn't have been fully okay, even though I was trucking through my day-to-day, trying to help out my sisters, kind of be there, be a support, definitely talking to Bree, especially on our drives to visit you. Yeah. So they knew it was a lot going on, but just asking how I was, that really helped me and let you know who you can kind of go and talk to. And you talk about people being genuine and, showing you better than they can tell you. That's a prime example of it.
But that's the part, like when I say, that's the part that I say, like, being in your life, you know, and like that's the part when I always say, like, I say I'm grateful for my father. And like, you know, like some people, I'm grateful for my father not being in my life. I mean, like now, like it might sound crazy, but like I wish he was in my life. I might have turned out. But you know what? I don't know about how I would have turned out if he was in my life. I know what he made me do by you know, reverse psychology or whatever. It made me want to be in your life.
It showed you what not to do.
Yeah, it made me, and like, you know what? So therefore, you know what? You had to feel something. Because now if I wasn't in your life, or I just came around on Sundays, or, you know, every 2 years or something like that, then your feelings ain't going to be, you're not going to go through stuff. Like I remember when you and Brianna came, and y'all came, and you had to call her mom because she was crying so much. And like nobody wanted to really tell me. You know, nobody wanted to tell me that you had to do that. But, you know, Dee don't keep a secret anyway. You know, she don't keep a secret.
Love her, though.
Yeah. But, you know, she told me. Then, like other times when people start saying, man, you know, that hurt me. Because, I mean, I hurt y'all. I sent y'all through something. Mm-hmm. So you had to be going through something. I mean, like, you always been a strong man. I mean, you still strong. Even the strongest men, you know, go through stuff and stuff hurt, you know, no matter who you are.
I'm glad you taught me when I was young that it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Because there were definitely times where I had to shed some tears.
Yeah.
So, you talk about even the support you've given me throughout your years, man. It's just being there, being present, and, you know, nurturing and trying to teach is huge. And I think that, you know, going along with supporting what you said earlier, you always held me accountable. That really helped shape me into who I am today, just from that alone. So I definitely say, like, support goes hand in hand with love and accountability.
You know, I want to know if you remember this time. I remember, you know, I was in Harrisburg, and you had the game Saturday, and it was Friday. You had a game Saturday, and me and you got into got to talking, and like I was like, who do you think you talking to? And like, you know what? I wasn't mad at you. I was going through something else, but I would have took everything out on you. And like, you know what? Like the next day we talked about, because you were surprised I came to your game. You didn't think I was gonna come to your game, and I walked through the game, and I said they ain't had nothing to do with it. But I said if I'd have came, you said no, my mom wouldn't let me. I said your mom would have let me in the house. She would have let me in the house.
I remember that. Yeah. And I don't know why, but I remember you saying, like, you kind of did apologize and say, like, no, there was some other thing that wasn't all on you.
Right, it wasn't on you, but like, you know what?
I was like the straw that broke the camel's back, probably.
Nah, you know what? It just happened. I got on the phone with you. You know what? Because I think your mom, if I wasn't mistaken, your mom called me and said something to me. So then when I called you, you got like smart.
Oh, so I was acting up.
She called to tell me. She told me something, and I was coming, so I called you. But at the meantime, I was still going through something else, and like I was saying, and so I went straight to D house because I said, man, like I'm gonna take something out on you that you don't even deserve, or you didn't. You know what you said wasn't bad or nothing like that. It was just me. Mm-hmm. But I was glad that I was directed to go somewhere. But I was gonna come to your game anyway. Even if you couldn't play the next day because you had a broken leg or arm or something that I got finished with you, I'm going to still be at your game.
Yeah, I think, I remember that, man. It's funny you said that. Yeah, I remember you walked in, and I was definitely surprised to see you.
Yeah, I seen it.
I felt like I was in warm-ups, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I seen it in your face.
Here?
Yeah, I seen it.
Like, all right, I guess I'm going to go over there and say what's up, like, try not to be awkward about it, but... Yeah, that's one thing, and I'm just glad you always were kind of level-headed, and you're able to take a step back and look at things, which is something that I try to do with a lot. But I want to change gears a little bit here and talk about briefly just some things we see in society, because you see in society a lot of times, like people will pit people up against each other, right? So I guess a big example of this, I'll take the rap industry, right? So Nicki Minaj has been probably the biggest female rapper for quite some time. And then Remy Ma came back on the scene, and immediately people are like, who's better, right? Same thing, Cardi B comes along, who's better, her or Nicki Minaj? But now, you see there's like this new wave of female rappers with like City Girls and Cash Style. I'm not too familiar with them, but I was listening to the radio one day, which I don't do often, But one of them were on there talking about, yeah, no, we decided to collaborate on our music to show our fan bases that we can be successful together. You don't have to pin one up against the other and have one person fail so that the other can see, like, no, we can both be great. And I think that's just something I want to see more out of our society, especially in the black community, because we're already having to overcome so many obstacles from the outside, right?
Right.
That we can't be then pulling each other down. Like, working in corporate America, oftentimes I'm the only black person in the room, right? I might be the only person of color in the room. So what's it like if I walk into a room and finally I see another black person and I try to do something to get that guy pushed out of the room or that woman pushed out of the room? I'm not helping us. I'm not helping me. I'm not helping that person. I'm not helping future generations. Because the more of us that can make it, the higher the likelihood of future generations being more successful, and now we're raising that bar for our people.
But like you said, I would like to see more of that. But see, like sometimes, like what you said about the rappers, that goes back to Biggie. It goes back to Ja Rule and them. They always been going at it to jump up sales. It makes sales because now I talk about you on there, like what with Drake and somebody was going, but it sells records, it sells stuff.
But I think sometimes the media changes the perception or creates this false sense of reality. Like when we look at Tupac and Biggie, like when you start watching documentaries and stuff on them, it's like let me take a step back. When I think about me growing up, I thought they were never friends. But you start watching these biopics and documentaries, and it's like, wait, they was cool at one point in time, so what happened? A lot of people started this East Coast, West Coast beef.
Right.
Whereas if that never happened, they could still be on this earth today giving us great music. And, I'm a huge fan of Tupac because some of the things he talked about in his music, he was just so woke. Like, but that could still be here, but like because we pitted them up, we lost it.
But like you said, who started that? I don't think it was Tupac and Biggie started it. Like you said,
it's the noise.
You know what?
It's always the noise.
I look at I go back and watch like the Black Panther movie. Like when you talk about that, they was good, but you know what? They show where the white man, had somebody do something to imitate them,
yep.
And start. So they got somebody else that was in it to get in there and start messing it up. Now you get one apple in there. Now you got two apples. Now you start getting a rotten butt because you start growing so much.
You start dividing.
You start growing so much. When you talked about like that, them movies or some things like them, like Malcolm X and all them, like them movies I watch and I watch them all. And like a lot of times, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't really know what happened in the movies. I really don't know, because they gonna rewrite it and make you think what they want you to think, or they gonna they can hide some things that really happened. If I don't know nobody that really was there, I really don't know what happened and what really was there. I know what
you just go for based on.
I know what TV tell you, or what the movie look like, but I know like that, But like if that person, if you know somebody that been there, that really lived that, and they start telling you some of the things, then I could believe that.
You're definitely learning from experience, or from people that had the experience.
Yeah.
I think that one thing. So I'll share something that happened to me this week. I go to Toastmasters to work on public speaking, and I'll try to make this quick because we gotta get ready to wrap this thing up. But I do table topics. Like there's a segment in Toastmasters where you're given like a random question and you have to answer it in 1 or 2 minutes. And the question I had this week was, if you could give high school students any book to meditate on, what would it be? And I decided that it wouldn't be a book that probably already exists. I don't know if there's a book like this out there, but I was like, my hypothetical book would be one full of experiences of people that have been in their shoes, so that they can read about it and learn from it. Just so that they can learn from experience. And then someone asked a follow-up question and was like, what skill would you want them to learn the most? And I said to trust the guidance that they get from people, because oftentimes we have people that have been through what we're going through and know what to do and what's probably best not to do. But being young, sometimes you want to be hard-headed and you kind of shy away or rebel just because you want to do it your way. But if you just trust it, you can go a lot further. And, kind of, I guess, continuing on with, high school students. When I was in high school, when I was in senior seminar, it's like the class where you really focus on applying to college and stuff like that. We had a class where we talked about support systems. And it was like, who are you going to call on in college when, maybe you're struggling academically, you got a lot of stuff on your mind, maybe you're having some trouble financially, and, one of the recommendations is to get that list of people ready. And I was like, can I pull out my phone and add these numbers on speed dial right now? So that's where I created my speed dial list in my phone of like 8 people that I can call on. So some people might be one person, might be 3, might be 5, it might be 20. Or whatever it is, I would say definitely try to figure out who your support system is. And if you got questions about going on about how to figure out who should be in there, hit us up. But look for people that kind of gravitate to you. It might be that teacher that you think is a pain in the behind, but that teacher probably sees something great in you and they're just trying to push you along to help you.
I was just telling you about the guy at the job I'm starting to work, and I like him because and he makes me uncomfortable at times. But I know he only trying to make me learn, and he only trying to make me better. Like I know he like me. I mean, it's already been said. But now I could have the wrong frame of mind and let that deter me from trying to do this, and don't want the job. It was something else. I can't remember it right now. Something else we was just saying, and you were just saying. I probably think of it.
Well, you just made me think of something. You gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable because that's how you grow.
Right.
That's how you grow.
Right.
I think. Go ahead.
No, you know what? One thing I wanted to talk about, because when you was talking about like guidance or support. I remember when I was coming up, the older guys, like even though like they tried to, steer me right. If the older guy caught, with the joint, man, you better put that joint down. They might have didn't smoke it in front of you, or they might have did it, but they were gonna tell you. They ain't want that. And see, like today, like another thing I say hurt. We don't have the opportunities is not there. You don't have the rec centers. You don't have the people that want to take time to help people. Like, there's a lot of people out there, but like sometimes we can say that too, but do we want that help? Do we want that support? Cause you can find it, but when I was coming up, you had a recreation center here, you had that here, you had the Y here, you had people that wanted to coach, and people that were sincere with it, and like I said, that made it like a lot better. And one thing that you did say, and I'm probably and I got it when you were saying that Coach Retton was the one that told me a man can cry. And and he was my coach, my college coach. He was the winningest coach. He got the winningest percentage. He passed away 2 months ago. And you know what? I couldn't even make his funeral. Oh no, yeah, I couldn't make his funeral though. But he taught me so much about life, and he taught me so much about life through basketball. And that's the stuff he taught me that I was able to give to you.
Yeah. So shout out to the late John Retton.
Yeah.
But I think, just because we gotta wrap up and get out of here, but for those of you listening and watching, thank you. But I would say the takeaways from this is, definitely try to, develop or really think about your support system, who's in it, who should be in it, and who maybe shouldn't be in there if it's not coming from a place of genuine love. So definitely have a support system full of love, and also definitely learn different ways that you can be supportive. Definitely look to see how just evaluate your circle and who's around and how they're supporting you. And sometimes it takes you to sacrifice some of the things that you want in order to be supportive and help someone else out. So love, sacrifice, they go hand in hand with support, and also one of our favorites, accountability. So I think that's something that can definitely help a lot of different people. And so, I think last thing before we get out of here, thank y'all for listening. But please share this episode, share our other episodes. We're on, again, Apple Music, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, or you can find us on our hosting site, Podbean. And also reach out to us, send us your comments, thoughts to NoStoppingKev@gmail.com. Also leave us rating and reviews on whichever platform you love listening to, because that's only going to allow us to be able to reach more and more people. Dad, you got anything you want to say before we gotta get out of here?
You covered it all. I only need to say you covered it all. Just reach out and try to get somebody to tune into us, and just try to, if you got something for us, send us, help us. Help us. Give us something to talk about, something that y'all might want to hear talk about.
Yeah, because we're up here, talking and putting out these videos each week, but I think we get something from doing this, and that it helps us, kind of stay focused on what we want to do. Like, we have a goal out there to help people. So just by watching and sharing, y'all are supporting us and helping us become stronger in our day-to-day. And hopefully this show can become stronger and reach more people and, have a positive impact on some lives out there. So we about to get out of here. I want to watch some Big 3 basketball tonight.
Well, I'll be going to work tonight.
Oh, man. Have fun with that. Hopefully you get a little power nap before you get out of here. But
well, you know what? This show just gave me life, man. Like, I'm all right now. It just pumped me up. My adrenaline.
Get the energy up when we do this, man. I love doing this.
Yeah, because I was definitely tired, man. Definitely was tired.
Me too. Definitely love doing this. Definitely love the support that we get from everyone out there. Excuse my voice. I know it just cracked. But again, thank y'all. Love y'all out there. And we'll see you again next Sunday. Peace.
Peace.